Love and relationships aren't always easy, but understanding human connection can transform the way we experience them. If you want to improve your relationships, whether romantic, family, or friendships, you're in the right place. Hit subscribe and let's explore this journey together. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments.
Life as we know it has a way of throwing curveballs. Sometimes we wear rose-colored glasses, preferring to see situations through a lens of optimism, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. However, there's a fine line between optimism and denial. Let's embark on a journey to remove those rose-colored glasses and face the realities that lie beneath. Do you see reality clearly? Take this quick test. When faced with a challenging situation, do you? A, remain optimistic and ignore potential negative outcomes. B, consider both positive and negative possibilities and prepare accordingly. In relationships, do you often A, overlook your partner's flaws because you focus on their good qualities? B, acknowledge both their strengths and weaknesses realistically. When reflecting on your career progress, do you A, believe you're on the right path despite any lack of progress or feedback? B, regularly assess your achievements and seek feedback to ensure you're moving forward. Do you tend to A, avoid difficult conversations because you don't want to disrupt harmony? B, address issues directly to prevent them from escalating? How often do you A, find yourself making excuses for your own or others' poor behavior? B, hold yourself and others accountable for actions and outcomes? Answers at the end of the bookshot. The illusion of perfection. Have you ever admired someone so much that you couldn't see their flaws? Maybe it was a partner, a friend, or even a colleague. It's natural to want to see the best in people, but sometimes this can blind us to reality. This illusion of perfection can prevent us from addressing issues that need attention. I once had a friend, let's call her Vivian, who was in a relationship that seemed perfect on the surface. Her partner, Marcus, was charming, successful, and seemingly flawless. Vivian ignored the red flags, his temper, his controlling behavior, because she was enamored with the idea of their perfect relationship. It wasn't until she was deeply hurt that she realized she had been living in a fantasy. As relationship expert Dr. John Gottman once said, ignoring red flags because you want to see the good in people will cost you later. Vivian's story is a testament to this truth. Key takeaway from Attached by Amir Levine and Rachel Heller. The authors highlight how attachment styles influence our relationships. By understanding our own attachment style, we can better navigate our relationships and see our partners more clearly, without the distortion of unrealistic expectations. The workplace mirage. Our careers are another area where rose-colored glasses can be particularly blinding. We may convince ourselves that we're on the right path, even when signs suggest otherwise. A job might seem perfect because it's stable or pays well, but if it's not fulfilling or aligning with our values, it's a mirage. I remember a time when I worked at a company that offered great perks and a good salary. On the surface, it seemed like a dream job. But deep down, I was unhappy and unfulfilled. I kept telling myself that I should be grateful for what I had. It wasn't until I took a step back and objectively evaluated my situation that I realized I needed a change. Michael, a software engineer friend of mine, had a similar experience. He landed a job at a prestigious tech company, which seemed like a dream come true. However, the company culture was toxic, and Michael found himself dreading each workday. Despite the external glamour, the reality was harsh. It took Michael almost 2 years to admit to himself that he needed to move on. Insight from The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. Holiday emphasizes that obstacles can be opportunities in disguise. By facing challenges head-on and viewing them as chances for growth, we can turn seemingly negative situations into positive outcomes. Facing financial realities. Financial stability is crucial, yet many of us avoid looking at our finances realistically. We may overspend, believing that everything will work out, or ignore mounting debt because facing it feels overwhelming. A colleague of mine, Sebastian, always seemed to be living the high life. He drove an expensive car, took lavish vacations, and dined at the best restaurants. However, behind the scenes, he was drowning in debt. Sebastian wore rose-colored glasses when it came to his finances, refusing to acknowledge the reality until it was almost too late. It took a financial wake-up call for him to start making changes. According to a study by the American Psychological Association, financial stress is one of the most common sources of stress for adults. Ignoring financial issues doesn't make them disappear. It only exacerbates them. Facing the reality of our financial situation is the first step towards achieving stability and peace of mind. The power of self-reflection. Self-reflection is a powerful tool for removing rose-colored glasses. It requires honesty and vulnerability, but it's essential for personal growth. Take time to evaluate your life regularly. Ask yourself hard questions. Are you truly happy? Are your relationships healthy? Is your career fulfilling? Reflecting on our lives can be uncomfortable because it often brings up areas where we are falling short. But as Socrates famously said, the unexamined life is not worth living. By regularly engaging in self-reflection, we can identify areas for improvement and make necessary adjustments. Insights from the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Greene's book offers strategies for understanding and navigating power dynamics. One key takeaway is the importance of seeing the world as it is, not as we wish it to be. By being realistic about our situations and the people around us, we can make more informed decisions and avoid potential pitfalls. For instance, Law 5 in Greene's book advises, "So much depends on reputation. Guard it with your life." This underscores the importance of being aware of how others perceive us, which requires a clear-eyed view of reality. The importance of accountability. Holding ourselves accountable is crucial for growth. It's easy to make excuses or blame others, but taking responsibility for our actions and outcomes empowers us to make necessary changes. This doesn't mean being overly harsh on ourselves, but rather being honest and proactive. Personal anecdote: I once missed out on a promotion because I didn't complete a key project on time. Initially, I blamed my workload and external factors. However, after some reflection, I realized that poor time management and lack of prioritization were the real culprits. Accepting this allowed me to improve and eventually earn that promotion. Quote from Brené Brown: "Vulnerability is not winning or losing. It's having the courage to show up and be seen when we have no control over the outcome." Being accountable often means being vulnerable and admitting our mistakes. But this vulnerability is a strength that leads to growth. Overcoming denial. Denial is a powerful defense mechanism that can keep us from facing unpleasant truths. It's easier to stay in our comfort zone, but growth happens outside of it. Confronting reality can be painful, but it's the first step towards meaningful change. Denial can take many forms, from ignoring health issues to staying in toxic relationships. Consider the story of Zoe, who stayed in an unhealthy marriage for years, convincing herself that things would get better. It wasn't until she acknowledged the reality of her situation and sought help that she found the strength to leave and rebuild her life. Practical steps to remove rose-colored glasses. Seek honest feedback. Ask trusted friends, family, or colleagues for their perspectives on your situation. Sometimes, an outside view can provide clarity. Practice mindfulness. Stay present and observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment. This can help you become more aware of any biases or unrealistic expectations. Set realistic goals. Break down your goals into achievable steps. This helps to keep you grounded and focused on what's truly important. Educate yourself, read books, attend workshops, and seek knowledge that can help you understand your situation better. Journal regularly. Writing down your thoughts and experiences can provide insights and help you track your progress over time. Therapy or coaching. Sometimes professional help can provide the guidance and tools necessary to see things more clearly and make better decisions. Real-life story embracing reality. One of my most inspiring friends, Elena, taught me a valuable lesson about embracing reality. Elena had always dreamed of being an artist, but she found herself stuck in a corporate job. For years, she told herself that the job was a means to an end, a temporary step towards her artistic career. However, as time passed, she became more entrenched in her corporate role, and her dreams of being an artist faded. One day, Elena had a moment of clarity. She realized that unless she took action, her dream would remain just that, a dream. She started taking art classes in the evenings, gradually building a portfolio. After 2 years, she left her corporate job to pursue her passion full-time. It wasn't easy, but confronting the reality of her situation allowed her to take control of her life and follow her true calling. Inspirational quotes and insights. Albert Einstein, reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. This quote reminds us that while our perceptions can shape our reality, it's important to ensure they are grounded in truth. Stephen Covey. To change ourselves effectively, we first had to change our perceptions. Covey's words emphasize the importance of seeing clearly to bring about meaningful personal change. Maya Angelou. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. This powerful advice highlights the importance of recognizing and accepting reality in our relationships. Overcoming cognitive biases. One reason we wear rose-colored glasses is due to cognitive biases, which are systematic patterns of deviation from norm or rationality in judgment. These biases can cloud our perception and lead us to make decisions based on false assumptions. Understanding these biases can help us see situations more clearly. Confirmation bias. This is the tendency to search for, interpret, and remember information in a way that confirms our preconceptions. For example, if you believe your job is perfect, you might ignore or downplay any negative feedback. Optimism bias. This is the belief that we are less likely to experience negative events compared to others. While optimism can be beneficial, unrealistic optimism can lead us to take unwise risks or fail to prepare for potential problems. Real-life story confronting a harsh reality. Alex, a friend of mine, worked for a startup that seemed to be the next big thing in tech. The company was innovative, the work was exciting, and the potential for growth was enormous. Alex believed so strongly in the company's vision that he ignored warning signs, high employee turnover, constant changes in leadership, and delayed product launches. He invested a significant amount of his own money into the company, convinced it would pay off. After 3 years, the company collapsed. Alex was devastated, not only by the financial loss, but also by the realization that he had ignored the signs. It was a tough lesson, but it taught him the importance of being realistic and vigilant, using visualization to see clearly. Visualization is a powerful tool often used by athletes and successful professionals to achieve their goals. However, it can also help us see situations more clearly by imagining different outcomes and considering all possibilities. Exercise. Sit in a quiet place and close your eyes. Visualize your current situation in detail. Now, imagine 2 different futures. One where you continue as you are, and one where you make a change. Consider the potential outcomes of each path. This exercise can help you see beyond your current perspective and consider alternative possibilities. Applying Stoic philosophy. Stoic philosophy, which emphasizes the importance of accepting things we cannot change and focusing on what we can control, offers valuable insights for removing rose-colored glasses. The Stoics believed in seeing the world as it is, not as we wish it to be. Quote from Marcus Aurelius, "And you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." By focusing on what we can control and accepting what we cannot, we can confront reality with clarity and resilience. Practical tips for daily life. Start your day with realism. Begin each day by acknowledging your goals and challenges. Write down one realistic goal and one potential obstacle you might face. End your day with reflection. Before bed, reflect on your day. What went well? What could have been better? This helps you maintain a realistic view of your progress. Surround yourself with realists. Engage with people who provide honest feedback and encourage you to see things as they are. Avoid echo chambers, where only positive reinforcement exists. Read diverse perspectives. Expose yourself to different viewpoints through books, bookshots, and conversations. This can help you see your own situation from multiple angles. The role of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, EI, is the ability to understand and manage your own emotions and those of others. High EI can help you see reality more clearly by reducing the influence of emotional distortions. Components of EI. Self-awareness, recognizing your own emotions and their impact. Self-regulation, managing your emotions in healthy ways. Some motivation, staying focused on realistic goals. Empathy, understanding others' perspectives. Social skills, building healthy relationships. By developing EI, you can improve your ability to see situations clearly and respond appropriately. Inspirational story. From illusion to reality. Jessica was a successful entrepreneur who built a thriving business from scratch. On the outside, she had it all: a booming company, a beautiful family, and financial success. However, Jessica was deeply unhappy. She had been ignoring her own well-being, believing that her success would eventually bring happiness. One day, Jessica hit a breaking point. She realized that she had been living in an illusion, prioritizing work over everything else. She decided to make a change. Jessica started prioritizing self-care, spending more time with her family and delegating work tasks. It wasn't an easy transition, but it led to a more balanced and fulfilling life. Concluding thoughts. Removing rose-colored glasses is about finding a balance between optimism and realism. It's about acknowledging the truth, even when it's uncomfortable, and using that knowledge to grow and improve. By confronting reality, we empower ourselves to make better decisions, build healthier relationships, and live more fulfilling lives. Recap of key points. The illusion of perfection can blind us to important issues. A seemingly perfect job might not align with our true values and fulfillment. Facing financial realities is crucial for long-term stability and peace of mind. Regular self-reflection helps identify areas for improvement. Seeing the world as it is, not as we wish it to be, leads to better decision-making. Accountability and vulnerability are essential for personal growth. Overcoming denial is the first step towards meaningful change. Practical steps like seeking feedback, practicing mindfulness, and setting realistic goals can help remove rose-colored glasses. Understanding cognitive biases can help us see more clearly. Visualization and Stoic philosophy can provide tools for realistic thinking. Emotional intelligence enhances our ability to understand and manage reality. Answers to the test. If you found yourself mostly choosing option A, it might be time to start removing those rose-colored glasses and facing reality head-on. Remember, growth begins with a clear view of where you stand and where you want to go. So, take off those glasses, look around, and embrace the journey ahead.
Love and connection thrive when we take the time to understand them. If this video gave you a new perspective, let us know in the comments. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so we can keep exploring together. The journey doesn't end here. Click the link in the description and uncover even more exclusive knowledge, free for you.